Hello everybody, this is Tim here again, here at another movie review, this time for Holmes and Watson, starring Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. Now, this is a movie that came out a while back, but I kind of put off watching it, only because I'd heard such bad things about it, so I finally decided to sit through this film, and this is the first time I watched this movie, and I'll go ahead and say this, from 1 to 4 stars, this is easily a 0. This is a bad movie, but people had this hyped up to me as being like one of the worst movies ever made. I don't know about that. It is one of the worst mainstream movies ever made, but to me, like a really bad movie is something that's almost like a slog or like extremely offensive to get through. This movie was just poorly put together, like in terms of writing and the comedy, and it was just poorly written. It didn't really offend me or nothing or aggravate the hell out of me or anything. It was just kind of there. It was just bad. So yeah, it's a bad movie. It is one of the worst mainstream big budget or budgeted movies I've ever seen. But yeah, pretty much the movie's a parody of Sherlock Holmes, Will Ferrell, and John C. Reilly as Holmes and Watson, obviously. You know what you're going to get. It's kind of the standard Will Ferrell dumb comedy, and I like Will Ferrell. I like Zoolander. I really enjoy that one. I really like, I even like Night at the Roxbury. That's the one I was thinking of. And there's some other good Will Ferrell comedies I like, but he's also a good dramatic actor. I like Stranger Than Fiction as well. But yeah, as far as this film goes, it's just very basic. It felt like nobody's heart was really in this project. They were kind of just coasting through it. It isn't so much that Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly aren't trying. John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell are trying. Their acting isn't so bad. This movie's just kind of lifeless. There just really isn't anything going on. I'll admit I did chuckle a few times in this movie because there is some, at least, lowbrow, dumb comedy moments that just kind of made me laugh just because they were so lowbrow and dumb. Like when John C. Reilly knocks the queen out with the camera or whatever he's got. But then there's comedy that they just don't know what to do with, and it just kind of, or it goes on too long and they don't stop the joke at the right time. Comedy is more about timing, really, in terms of how you put it together. Like this whole movie just plays out like kind of a bland Sherlock Holmes parody. There's ways that you could have done this to where it would have worked much better. You could have done this as like a straight up hardcore, edgy R-rated comedy. Because there's like a few F words. I think there's maybe like 2 F words in here. That's about it. So I guess it automatically makes it R-rated just because of that. But really, this is a very tame movie. I expected this movie to be a lot more edgy. I feel like this would have been a lot better if like Sacha Baron Cohen had played Sherlock Holmes, to be honest. As it is, you got like Steve Coogan in here who plays like a guy with a hook for a hand, and he's only in like one scene in the whole movie. He's just kind of wasted. But yeah, this movie just doesn't really go anywhere. And you got like the love interests in here for Holmes and Watson, and they don't really go anywhere either. They're just kind of there. And they make some really lowbrow, just worthless Trump humor jokes. And I don't even like Trump, and I don't care about politics at all. If anybody's watched my other videos, they've heard me mention before, I don't care about politics whatsoever. But I also don't like Trump. But at the same time, if you're going to make Trump jokes, try to do a little better with it. Will Ferrell puts on a hat or whatever and it says "Make England Great Again." It's like, oh my gosh, that is so lame. And then later on, they got like the 2 women in the movie making jokes about how they're from America and how they say stuff like, I'm paraphrasing, but they say stuff like America would never elect a pure idiot in office. And of course, it's like, oh, nice jab there at Trump, liberal director. It's like, okay, like I'm serious. I don't even like Trump. I don't care about him at all. I mean, I try not to hate anybody just because that's the kind of person I am, but at the same time, I don't like him. And if you're going to make fun of him, go for it. That's some funny shit. Go ahead if you can make it funny, but these jokes are so lowest common denominator with no effort put into them. I wanted this movie to be more edgy. Like, they should have just went for it and went crazy with it and had, like, the whole joke be like, Holmes and Watson are secretly gay or something. I don't know. If you're going to go lowbrow with it, really go lowbrow. I mean, bring some edge to it. Or, they do have some jokes in here that are obvious, like parody jokes of the Sherlock Holmes movies by Guy Ritchie with Robert Downey Jr., where, like, Will Ferrell is, like, trying to, analyze an entire situation order. And he does something one time when he's trying to fight this big dude, and he's talking about, like, coming up with a game plan for all the situation and everything. He's calculating it just like Robert Downey Jr. does in those movies. And then he tries it, and it just doesn't work, and it's just like a one-off gag, really. They don't really do much with it. At the end, though, they kind of bring it back with Watson's character, John C. Reilly, does it, and he's trying to put it together like mathematical style, and he's like, I hate math. I was never good at it. I should have paid more attention in school or whatever. But the way it doesn't sound good when I say it, but the way John C. Reilly delivered it was kind of funny a little bit. And every now and then you get one, like, thrown in an F word that is kind of funny, but one of the kids in the movie says, like, no shit, Sherlock. Like, really? Come on now. Yeah. At the end, though, there is like this one-off gag at the end that did kind of get a laugh out of me. When the characters, like when Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly are like leaving or whatever, they're leaving the Titanic, and people are getting on the Titanic, and Will Ferrell goes, "See you, Billy Zane," and you look over and it's actually Billy Zane. That was kind of funny. Um, that got a little bit of a chuckle out of me. Like I said, it's really lowest common denominator humor here, and it is sometimes just a little bit funny because of the delivery of the actors. Because Will Ferrell is kind of funny. I mean, just in general, his personality, he can just naturally deliver some stuff that works. But he definitely needed a better writing team here. But yeah, there's nothing about this movie that really offends me or anything. It's just kind of eh. Like I expected more from this, I didn't expect more from it because I knew this was going to be bad. But at the same time, they could have done more with this. If you really are going to parody like Sherlock Holmes or whatever, say it like modern day. Do like a modern day Sherlock Holmes and Watson or something. I don't know. Just go straight to town with it and just go freaking edgy crazy with it or something. Shit, I don't know. Have it like Sherlock Holmes in the Hood or something. But yeah, and then just do like, I don't know, just do something else with it. You be inventive with it. But yeah, all in all, there's really nothing to this movie. It's just kind of zero, pointless. I do think this would have worked better with Sacha Baron Cohen in it. I think it would have felt more natural with him, with his style of comedy, and he could have brought like a real edginess to it. Because this really feels like a really weak rated R, at least compared to what I've seen. But yeah, all in all, this is just kind of a complete waste. I'll never watch this movie again. And would I buy this? Maybe just to have like for my Will Ferrell collection, but never to watch again unless there's just like massive special features of it on it or whatever. I would just be curious about the making from a filmmaking standpoint. Ray Fiennes or whatever is in this movie, who played Voldemort in the Harry Potter movies. He plays Professor Moriarty, who in the books or whatever is like in the movies is like the Joker to Sherlock Holmes Batman, but he's totally wasted here. He does nothing. Twist at the end is that the killer the whole time is like his daughter. It's like, okay, really lame. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. Um, yeah, this is a really poor movie, but it's so poor and so generic and rote to the point to where it's so lowbrow and just kind of, it's not even like, it doesn't have enough in it to like really be offensive or anything. At least to me. So this is just kind of a bad movie. There's just nothing here really. The girl who played like Sherlock Holmes' love interest, who was supposed to have like suffered from electroshock. You know, it's the whole joke about old school like modern medicine or whatever. But yeah, she suffers from like electroshock or whatever, and so she can't really speak and all that shit. And at the end, of course, we find out she actually can, but she makes some kind of like goofy facial expressions every now and then, which she's kind of cute, so that kind of worked. But yeah, all in all, this is easily zero. I'll never watch this again. And unless you're a big like hardcore John C. Reilly or Will Ferrell fan, I don't see any reason you would ever want to watch this. Or maybe just for shits and giggles if you want to see how bad it is. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again.